Hello everybody, Daz here. Today I would like to talk a little bit about RGB lights and why they're bad in my opinion. Don't expect to have like crazy run, just spitting hate here. I would like to bring a few points that I think make sense and you tell me if they make sense for you. So I believe that idea of RGB itself was actually pretty cool. It's supposed to give you opportunity to adjust your coloring scheme of your computer or do even custom coloring, because instead of just plain white, green or whatever red colors, you actually can do shades, and it could be really cool to make ability to create absolutely unique system. But what it turns into, it's actually suppress all creativity across the board. And this is three reasons I think it's RGB that really should die as soon as possible for the sake of modding community. First thing related to manufacturers. What I see as a store owners past couple of years, that basically all innovation pretty much stop across the board. All manufacturers do is spend their money and resources and employees' time is slapping RGB products on existing products. We don't see any new stuff released for longest time. It's all we do, we just figured out how to add lights to total nonsense parts like RGB, let's say radiators, which is total bullshit in my opinion. RGB blocks, which makes sense because we already tried to put lights into the blocks, right? Obviously fans became glowing, which is also I think kind of okay. But anyway, so it's not the point of trying to slice and dice which product should have RGB, which product shouldn't have RGB. The thing is that the fact that company resources all spend of implementing RGB versions on all across the existing product line basically ended up to the fact that we have no new products. So if you look like AK, all they did all year, they just add lights. Beats Power, same thing. So like, why not develop some new cool reservoir or pump combo or something like this, new fittings? No, we do this. So that's the part one. So manufacturers' inventions or new product rollout get stalled, and I don't really like that fact. So I hope the craziness pass and finally we'll start seeing new stuff sooner or later. Second, the modding community itself. All these functions of RGB lights, when you have a rainbow waves and pattern and flashing, all this 1 million different version of light show, if you will, they basically created a lot of mediocre type of builds, and people get sloppy and lazy. And even people who actually try to put some effort and create a system with nice tube layout and nice components, when they put this light show on, what's happening, all you can see is those lights. You can't even see how tubing goes where and what's inside of the computer. So like, just try to look on any computer that has a single type of lighting, like single color, and this craziness RGB stuff, and you will understand what I'm talking about. So I think that a lot of people just don't even try to do any modding anymore, because all you can do is just cram as much RGB products into your computer as possible, put some sort of pattern flashing, and you're done, right? So in terms of the like modding community, it was like big hit in terms of big damage to people even trying to develop their skills and create something unique. So that's reason number two. And the last reason is also related to the building computers, but a little bit more technical side. I think everybody starts forgetting that actually you build water cooling system in order to make it efficient and cool better. But each light, strip or single light or multiple lights, they actually heat sources. So the more lights you put in your system, more heat you produce in your system. And obviously you can put more faster fans that try to speed it out, but in terms of creating efficient cooled system, water cooled system, lights, excessive number of lights make no sense. Plus lights can be different too. Some lights is a little bit better quality and they run cooler. There's other lights that's just cheaper lights, and in order to produce enough like brightness out of them, so manufacturers just basically cram the voltage a little bit up above the level that recommended. So the light actually look like bright, but at the same time it's running very hot, and it adds excessive heat to your system. In certain places maybe it doesn't matter much, but in other places, for example, just like to show you this example of a neo changer reservoir which has the lights inside of the reservoir. So I don't think anybody even thinking about the fact that excessive light put on a liquid is not very good thing, because liquid usually can, especially colored liquid. Colored liquid in general consists out of two things. One is it's actually a base. It can be any color. It can be like, for example, for pastel it's kind of white. For clear liquids, like glycol based, they actually can be clear, like distilled water, and then you add coloring on top of it. So the coloring itself, if it's even good quality, not some food coloring and some synthetic coloring that holds color better, it has its own limits. Putting excessive heat, putting excessive radiation like UV radiation will eventually wear off your color and change it. It's the same like you have your couch standing next to your window and the sun shining in it, and eventually some spots became not as bright. So it's the same story. Or just even go beyond certain temperature level, you destroy your color and completely change your color. Instead of like orange, it can become like brown or something like, or became from red, it can become again like some sort of orange. So things change like this. And it's important to remember that with everything you need to limit number of things that you do, because when you're overdone, you destroy things. And for example, I have a couple customers that run problems with liquids in the reservoirs. And for example, I have one client who has a pastel liquid and use Alpha Cool ring with LED light, and it's literally cooked pastel and left like burn marks. Not on the plastic itself, the burn marks kind of inside. So the liquid actually get cooked and changed color and became like even black. I will insert the picture and you can see what I'm talking about. So you see, things went out of control in my opinion. Innovation gone, creativity of user gone, and on top of that we might even create some problems inside of your computer. So situation not very optimal in my opinion. That's why I think that RGB basically more bad than good. Well, that's all for today. Welcome to share whatever you think on the subject, and I will be back with my personal build. And for those who are wondering, I have to kill baby blue in the form it's now. I finally realized that this small form factor is not for me. What I really wanted from the beginning was a tower, so I have to basically kill whatever I did, and all those compromises that I decided to do, it was just wrong. So, and I want my computer the way I want it. So I will go back to some sort of tower, and we'll see, maybe I will get all the tower from Bill Owen and MNCP Tech, and just do some sort of retro build. But that's something that will be clear more or less, and maybe next week. But other than that, I thank you for watching my stuff, and see you soon when I'm ready to make a new video.